Welcome to another episode of For Footballers Only. I'm Mike Idiokitis.
I'm James Benet.
And today we have a special guest.
Christian Vanegas.
Christian, welcome. It's been a minute. You know, you should have been one of the first guests. Because just a brief before we get into your story, just a brief story about how we all know each other. We all play ball on a semi-pro team in the DC area. And then, as we got older, Christian and I used to play in what was this? It was like an indoor.
It's an indoor in Jessup, Maryland.
Yeah. That was wild.
Oh, you guys went down?
No. This is like pre-COVID was the last time we played. But it was those late night. It's like the restaurant.
You got relegated.
Yeah, exactly. It's what they call the restaurant league. You know what I mean? So these guys, like, some Christian would call me like, "Oh Mike, there's a game at 11 p.m." That's an early game, James.
Oh my God,
that's an early game.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? No, I'm good, Christian. I have to work tomorrow.
Like 45 minutes from home.
Yes.
Oh
it's not right here either. It's like it's a drive.
Yeah.
11 p.m. Oh, it's early, Mike. I'm like, no, Christian, I'm fine. I'll check you with y'all later. It was crazy, man. Good times. All right. So Christian, let's just get right into it. Where does your football story begin?
Well, it begins in Ecuador when I was 7, 8. Starting playing soccer on the streets, friends. It was back when it was fun. Every Saturday, Sunday. We used to have this. We call it indoor ball, but it was like the size of a baseball. Really hard. We play with that in the streets. We play a bunch of 2 rocks, to make it as the goal on each side, and then we play, and that's where it all began, and it was fun. And every time I go back to Ecuador, I still do, if my friends are still playing on the streets, we go, and it's really fun to go. Memory goes, back to those good days. So yeah, that's where it all began.
Nice,
so when you started playing in the street, did anyone introduce you before you start playing in the street like that?
No, it was natural. I remember I had a couple of friends that they played baseball, so I think I did it for like 2 weekends.
Yeah.
And then soccer is the number 1 sport in Ecuador, so it's everywhere. So and everyone started playing, and then it just natural. Nobody ever introduced me to, okay, this is how you receive the ball and shoot the ball, and it all happened naturally. So, and it was fun. Fun.
We'll come back to that because you've been coaching, you're a parent now, and it is interesting how, like, here, for instance, all those things that you just mentioned has to be taught.
Yeah.
Whereas
before you continue, Mike, let me give you a quick story. Back in March, I went to Ecuador.
Okay.
I went for like 7 days, and I stayed at my uncle's apartment. So he has a small balcony, so he overviews one street. It's in the center of the city. So it's like 10, 11 p.m. at Friday. So I'm just looking. And I see down on the street, and I see boys, 12, 13, playing 6v6 with a bunch, not much lights on the street, but there are all ballers. 12, and nobody, they don't have a coach. There's no one there telling them what to do, how to play, and they do it so nice that I was like, I stayed there watching for an hour. It was fun, and then it goes back to what you were saying, and I think this is the difference with countries where it doesn't happen, this is where talent and great players are born there.
Yeah. So you start playing, and then you start on the streets, and then take us through your transition up till really till we met. Let's do that transition.
I played there. Then I played in high school in Ecuador. You know, they had a small team up to grade 7. We it was a small travel team. We went out to Severance and play other schools. But I continued to play it on the street with friends. You know, that was fun. I also had a couple of practices with a professional team, but the under 17, 16, you know, where they took you in for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But I couldn't go because, you know, it was far from the house. You know, I didn't have anyone to take me, you know, and the rule at home was if you're not doing well in school, you know, forget about, you know, playing anything. So, and I wasn't a good student. So you know, so that was the biggest challenge for me, that I couldn't continue, in playing with you know this the youth group, and this team is called Emelec. It's one of the second biggest team in Ecuador. Then after that, I continued playing in high school. Then when I was 17, that's when I came to the US. I played in high school, Roosevelt High School down in Northwest DC. And so my second year there, we made it to the finals, and we played against Wilson High School, and we beat them. And I think that's the only year that they have won anything, because as I can remember, Wilson had everything. That had the best baseball team, the best basketball team, the best soccer team. They had everything. So that tournament, that title was like the best experience that I had, you know, as a young player. Then after that, I joined the military right after high school. I was there for 10 years, and I continued to play. You know, every command that I went, you know, I was like, "Do you guys have a soccer team? You know, is there a tournament on base?" You know, everywhere we went. You know, I remember pulling into, I think it was Italy. You know, our ship pulled in, and then there was a bunch of Navy ships from one of the countries. So every ship had to come up with a soccer team. You know. And then we played a small tournament. It was like a weekend tournament. So that was, you know, then I came back in 2012, and you know, I've been away for 10 years out of Maryland. Came back. I started looking for teams. You know, a really, you know, team that practices. You know, they play, and I saw an ad that said, you know, looking for players. We practice at Roosevelt High School. You know, this was back in 2012 in January, and it was, you know, snowing, cold. And then I remember when I contacted Mike, you know, he said, "Look, we're gonna practice on Thursday," and it was snowing. I was like, I don't think are they gonna practice on snow? But I went anyway because, you know, just to see, and they were there. Everybody was there, and then I knew, you know, this is the team that I want to play with, because snow, hot, cold, I want to play. So I stayed. You know, I did a couple of trials with Mike, and then I, you know, been playing since with Cap City since 2012 to like to 2015, 2016. Yeah. So
nice.
Oh yeah, thank you for your service, by the way. Thank you for your service.
Indeed.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back a little bit. When you were in Ecuador, and let's say high school or even pre-high school, did you have any football idol?
Maradona. he was the player that I wanted to be. He was, you know, he's left-footed, I'm left-footed. And I remember watching the World Cup in Italy in 1990. You know, at the time, we all wanted to be like him. You know, he was the idol, and he has been my idol. Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting, given that you don't play similar positions or roles, you know, besides being left-footed.
Right. Yeah. I don't. I mean, but you know, he was, you know, watching him play, you know, he was the guy that I wanted to play.
Magical. No. I mean, Maradona is. I mean, he's on most people. He's most people idols. You know what I mean? Like,
And then later, my modern idol would be Ronaldinho. He's he makes it look so easy, fun, and today when we see all these players and watching Ronaldinho play, he smiles every 3 seconds on the field. Doesn't care if he plays against Real Madrid or anything. He's like having fun, and I think that's my number. I would say my number 2 idol.
Yeah. No, those two, they are probably on everyone's list. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're a footballer, in some kind of way, those two have infiltrated your psyche, or like just there's, and it's more about like, I think it's even more like, of course, their football skill is out of this world. It's like everybody's here, and there's no real way to rate it. Yeah. But I think it's also they're extremely charismatic. Like those two, for instance, right? Like everybody loved them. Like, unlike I say this all the time. Like Messi is a great talent, but he's not like somebody you want to hang out with. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? But like those two,
guy,
those two are people you want to hang out with. Like, like you just want to be in the same room or like in the same park with them. Like they just seem so much fun. But since you bring that up, it's a question we ask everyone, and you've seen a couple of episodes, so you know the question is coming. And you're a footballer, so there's no right answer, and that any answer you give, people are gonna get at you. Even your daughter might get at you because she'll be like, "Oh, Dad, I don't know." So the question is, who's on your list of top 11 footballers of all time?
Top 11. Okay, my top 11. I would say like you want to start from the keeper.
No, you can do anything. It can be all keepers. It can be all left backs. It can be all goalie. I mean, all strikers, all Brazilians, all Ecuadorians. I mean, whatever you want to do is your list.
Okay, from what I have watched, I would say Cannavaro from Italy. I forgot the Roberto Carlos, Ronaldinho, Maradona, Ronaldo.
Which Ronaldo?
The Brazilian.
R9, okay.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. I like let me see. I like the guy from Manchester United. He already retired. Center back.
Finland?
Yes.
Rio? Okay.
Yeah, the brother. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let me see. You have to put in Messi. You have to have Messi. I think Messi, he's one of the best. Yeah. His talent is, it's natural. How many do I have? 7?
Yeah.
Okay. I like, there was one keeper that I really liked, but this is because I watched him play, and it was, it might not be the best, but I really, really, I think he made me want to be a keeper at one point. He was a keeper of Argentina in 1990. It's Goicoechea. He saved a bunch of penalties and took the team to the finals, even though they lost it against Germany, I think. But that's him. I like Canilla. Canilla, he used to play with Maradona and Boca Juniors. I also like Johan Cruyff. That's 9.
That's 10. You got one more.
One more. Okay. I'm trying to think back, back when I was used to watch. And there was one. Let me see. And I think Xavi would be in my team too. He's the one that you want to have in every team.
Okay. No, that's a solid list.
Yeah.
I mean, you did Xavi, but you didn't do Iniesta.
Yeah, it was one of the Iniesta is also, it's really hard to,
Yeah, you did Messi, you did CR7.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You do Zidane.
Oh yeah,
Ah,
Zidane.
yeah, Zidane.
That's
You know,
tough.
yeah.
Pele,
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Pele, I forgot about Pele.
Davids,
Can I go back?
Henry. No, that's the beauty of the game is that this question, part of what the question reveals is that one, you're a student of the game, or you really like we've interviewed someone that was like pretty much the entire list was the invincible Arsenal
Yeah, Arsenal. Yeah.
and the French team. You know what I mean? Like it was just that. Or
Yeah.
you have some people that it's just Barcelona and Brazil. You know what I mean? Or like so it reveals your bias, it reveals what you're interested in, those kind of things. And then some people like it was all like just dribblers, like Robinho, to Nelson,
Yeah.
Neymar. I mean, like, it was all dribblers. But it's fun. I mean, it's good.
I want to kill time. I'll get Neymar.
But that's true. That list is a tough list, man.
That's just personal. Neymar. I mean, he has a talent, but I think he worries much about getting hit, not getting hit. He's not worrying about. But that's just me.
Yeah. No, okay. So here's the Neymar I think. Okay, so I always have to come to the defense of Neymar, right? Because he's like an easy guy to pick on, because but Neymar is gifted. Like he's a baller. Like you really have to study. I was actually you on the list you picked R9. R9's favorite player in the modern era is Neymar. You know what I mean? Like, and he talks about why. And one of the things he said, he's like, if he did what Neymar does, he would have had a longer playing career, right? So pretty much what his point was like, when Neymar gets hit, some of it he takes, but a lot of times, especially like these unnecessary hits, like he falls and, so that one, the ref can recognize it, and then the player gets like noticed. And so the next time the player does it, they get a card or whatever it is. Whereas if you look at, I mean, and part of the reason we all love R9 was because this guy was like a truck. You know what I mean? Like people would, I mean, like dive and step on him or whatever, and he would just take it. And of course, it injured, like his injuries just piled on over time, and he just couldn't go on anymore. But like skill and technical, I mean, like you got.
Oh yeah, no, he's gifted. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they've always, he's a beast. Yeah. Okay, let's go back real quick to your, the when you had that opportunity to train and play with the team in Ecuador, but Moms was like, no, so you trained a little bit, but you couldn't continue because Moms was like, these grades are not looking right, etc.
Back there is not, you had to take like 5 buses to the field.
Yeah.
There are not a lot of, there was no one there to take me back and forth away from me. So yeah.
What did you go like, as when you can remember that experience, what did you feel like was outside of the, like in those training sessions, right? What did you feel like was the most challenging aspect of, like, if I continue with this is going to be like, these guys are either like, the conditioning takes a lot, or the mentally this takes a lot, or like I mean, whatever it is, like, what did you just going through the brief experience you had with it, what did you view as would be the most challenging?
The biggest challenge that I had at the time, and I think that it happens to all of us, is that I had doubts about myself, like, can I do it? These guys are the real deal. And I was maybe 15, 14, we are all in the development phase,
Mm-hmm.
When I'm there, I see these guys training, running. So I think it was all here, can I do it? And I had no one, you got it, all, you can do it, So I think it was just me and a friend that took the bus whenever we could to train. So to me, the biggest challenge is believing in myself. I had the talent. I know I could play, but being there, you feel tiny. These guys are training 5 times a day, even though they're the same age as you. But, but there was not much difference now that I think about it. It was just mental,
Yeah.
And I think that's what happens, when you were 14, 15, you have doubts, you're afraid to make mistakes, and it's important to have that person next to you saying, yeah, go ahead, make that mistake, go do it, try it, so I think for me that was the biggest challenge, because at the end of the day, it's the drills, the training, it was, I remember that I could do it. It was, it was fun, it was, to me, I think it was like 2-3 weeks that I trained with them, but it was like the best experience that I had when I was young.
Yeah.
I want to add on. So basically, like, it's like you give a message to young players that's watching, right? You can have all the skills, all the talent, but your environment, so you need support, and you also need mental to keep you going, right? So I think that's a great message, because with young players that's listening right now, you have all the skills, you can be the Neymar, the Messi, but mental and your environment play a big role. So Christian, I have another question, right? You being from South America, being from Ecuador, we heard about how soccer is beautiful in South America. Can you tell us, like, someone, I don't know if you ever been to a game where someone, or if international game, if maybe Ecuador is playing Brazil, or one of the club team is playing one of the Brazilian team like Santo. Have you ever been? How is that experience like, being from South America? And like, how's the football like in South America?
When you compare to a game here, is day and night. Whenever I go to Ecuador, I watch. I plan my days. Like I know my team is playing at home, and I know that day I'm gonna watch my team play. Like one day, we were playing Copa Libertadores, so my team MLA was playing River Plate from Argentina. So I was like, okay, I'm flying in 2 days early, and I've got to get my ticket, and the experience is amazing. I mean, it's a different game, and I haven't seen any Brazilian team, but the experience, the supporting it, when I go to the DC United games, it's fun, so it's great, but it's a totally different scenario. You got this, got a 40,000, 50,000 people just, singing, the stadium is moving, yelling, it's fun. In fact, one of the things that I want to do, and I was telling my wife, I want to travel to every country and watch a derby. Every country I want to watch a derby. That is like my dream thing to do. Here I go, I have friends from Argentina. I say, look, whenever I go to Argentina, I want you to hook me up with these tickets, because I want to see River Plate and Boca, and then I go to Chile, go to continents, and
So my question, Christian, what jersey will you be wearing?
He's not gonna wear any jersey. He's not gonna wear any jersey.
My friend, he's from Boca Juniors, and he's to go to Boca, you have to wear blue. Okay. And I was like, because I was gonna wear white. Are you crazy? Yeah, so it's crazy, but that's my thing. I think that the game is different. Even though it's the same game, but the feeling is different. Feeling is different.
Yeah, it's a vibe. It's the energy is. I mean, no, but the thing is, that energy exists here in basketball, in American football.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in those environments where, like even if you don't like, I've never played American football, right? But like, I love like when I was in that, in this like high school game, and I've done the high school and the NFL, and I'm like, yeah, I can see why, I would put like, those guys in Wisconsin have the cheese on their head and it's 2 degrees outside and like they don't have anything on. yeah, that energy is just, it's crazy.
In South America, I used sometimes when I lived there, I used to be on the supporting fans. Like in this United, you go behind the goal.
Yeah.
Ecuador, you have to sing. Like there's
Yeah.
no sitting around. You have to sing. If you're not singing, they'll kick you out.
Yeah.
And that's for every team, big teams, and from out here from other countries too. You
Yeah.
have to sing. And if you don't know the songs, go over there and sit with the,
Oh, you're gonna learn the song. I mean, if you're from the town, you
Yeah.
learn the song by 7. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like it's like the national anthem.
Somebody told me that if you go to a game in Seattle, I think is the
Sounders.
The Sounders, yeah.
It's like that they're
Yeah.
all singing.
It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, same thing in Philly. Like that,
Oh,
there's
Portland too.
yeah, Portland, and the Canadian teams. So they're building this community within the MLS. So here's the thing I also say about the MLS and US football period is that it's young. You know what I mean? Like it's 25, years old. And so it's a young, there's been a lot of progress, and I think, we can help push, still missing some some culture pieces, some cool pieces, but we can help push that forward as well.
And that's the beautiful thing about young thing though. It's like is in the beginning stage, right? So it's important to push it. Like Michael Jordan came with the AMJ shoe, like right. So it's in the beginning stage.
Yeah.
Where it's young enough where we can help create the next icon, or whatnot.
Yeah.
So we all like what we're doing right now. That's the goal to be able to push it. You know what I mean? And I think, like you said, even though it's 25 years old, but there's a lot of positive thing that's happening, and it's gonna happen as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that Ecuador that's the jersey you always wear, right? That blue and red.
That's the club. That's the club.
The club. Yeah. Ecuador is yellow, yo.
No. The club. No, I'm saying the club. His favorite club.
Oh,
is the one he always wears. Yeah, no, not the Ecuadorian national.
I have everything for my club.
Yeah. But he wears this faithfully. Like I mean, it's like his white T-shirt. You know what I mean? Like every pickup, every whatever it is, that's what Christians wear.
That's the only thing I wear. When I pick up game, anything. A pajama for my club.
Yeah. All right. So.